Previously on Horsepower, everyone got through the first Mclay regionals, except newcomers Chelsea and Onatello. While everyone else celebrates, it looks like the end of a dream for them.
I'm so depressed.
Lindsay and LV won a huge championship at the Maryland Horse and Pony Show, which pumped Lindsay's confidence.
This is the biggest thing that I've ever won.
Now Nico, Lindsay, Maggie, and Natalie are about to face the judges in their own regionals. They'll see if years of hard work trying to make it to the Mclay finals will pay off.
This is probably the least favorite day of the year for these kids and for the trainers and for the parents.
Some will see victory, while others face heartbreak. And a personal tragedy could put a stop to one rider's season.
We just got back from the doctors. We have some decisions to make.
To win the biggest prize in teenage riding, you have to have one thing: a great partner. This year, two rival barns will go head-to-head to win it all.
They don't understand the way I work. Won't settle for less. I go for broke. Turn it up, she's moving to the radio. Hold it down, gotta go with the status quo. Keep in time to the beat with the pros.
America's finest will be challenged by a long shot. This year, one of us will win the top honor in junior riding, the Mclay Championship.
With just 6 weeks to go, everyone is gearing up for the Super Bowl of teenage riding, the Mclay Championship Finals. Past winners have gone on to the Olympics and world-class show jumping careers. The horses and riders train all year for a chance to compete. But to get to the Mclay Finals, you first have to get through a regional qualifier based on where you live. Last weekend, riders at Beacon Hill in New York competed in their regionals. Now it's time for the riders in other regions to show. Nico, the trainer's kid, is one of the few boys in the sport.
Being outnumbered 200 to 1 it's a hard number, but I managed to do it.
He lives in Florida and is ranked in the top 10 in the country. Now, he has just 4 days left to prepare for his Mclay regional qualifier.
That's a little incorrect. Maybe you'll get lucky and leave the jump up. We're getting down to crunch time. Everybody's nerves are a little frayed.
At the Mclay Championship, the horses and riders compete in a type of riding called equitation. Equitation differs from other horse sports in that only the rider is judged, and it's largely subjective. The judge must decide which rider has the most elegant, controlled, and precise round. So while the horses technically aren't being judged, riders still need the right horses to show off their beautiful form. That's why Nico and his mom are agonizing over which horse he should use.
Still on the fence about which horse to use for the regionals. I really love the way Nico looks on Rocket, and he has a very good relationship with him.
Nico and his mom own Rocket. If Nico wins his regional, let alone the Mclay, on Rocket, he'll become a much more valuable animal who could be sold for well into the 6 figures. But a horse on loan, 007, is a proven champion.
007, it's fantastic.
007 won the Mclay final with another rider on his back 3 years ago.
Good, he was right there for you that time. Walk, how'd that feel?
Nico likes the fact that 007's a winner.
As a test, Nico rode both horses at a show last weekend. 007 won everything.
3 blue ribbons isn't such a bad end of the day, and now we're done.
But Rocket was a disaster.
Definitely this horse is a little too fresh. He's feeling a little too good about himself.
Rocket refused to jump a fence with yellow flowers. So now Nico is convinced that Rocket is afraid of yellow. His mom, however, is not so sure.
Everything is fine. We are set to go. He's finishing up right now with Clover there, so what is left?
Flowers for Nico. Nico's yellow and orange flowers. But he's convinced Rocket's afraid of yellow flowers.
It's Nico's psyche.
We'll just make him feel better about it. I don't care. It's pretty. You can plant him later.
I know my mom thinks I'm crazy, but Rocket was definitely afraid of those yellow flowers. When something like that happens, you just have to train him to get over it. But I definitely think it was the yellow that scared him.
So before they decide which horse to take to the regionals, they must first determine if Rocket really is afraid of yellow flowers.
We've got orange flowers. We've got yellow flowers. We have a yellow target. We have yellow marigold. We have yellow straw. We have lots of yellow.
Do you notice the new flowers?
So let's see if Rocket is really afraid of yellow or orange.
Horses are skittish by nature, and many of them will spook if they hear a noise or see something out of the ordinary. And at this level, a horse that refuses to jump over yellow flowers is useless.
Flowers, flowers, flowers everywhere. He looks fabulous.
So it turns out Nico is totally crazy, and Rocket is totally fine with yellow. Still, Nico can't decide.
Choosing between Rocket and 007 is a little difficult because they're both such nice horses, and Rocket's been really good lately, so we'll just have to see what happens at regional.
The drama goes on.
Nico isn't the only one scrambling to get ready for a regional qualifier. 15-year-old Maggie lives in New Hampshire and often trains her horses by herself. But sometimes she needs help from the pros. Her horse bucked and refused to jump at the last big show. He has to pull it together, or Maggie won't make it to the Mclay final.
At the Hamptons, my equitation horse Peter Pan, he didn't go the best or as good as he normally does.
That's the last time we're going to watch him go like a complete dog.
So we thought it would be a good idea to send him to Heritage before regionals.
And then he's going to stay at Heritage right through the regionals and right through the finals because he's been a loser lately, and we got to keep that from happening.
So Maggie, her mom, and Peter Pan make the 4-hour journey down to Heritage Farm.
When I open my eyes to a new day, something makes me think this could be the one. Everything will fall in place today.
So this is Peter Pan. If he lived here all the time, it'd be a little bit easier. They do a nice job, but there's some things that, you know, she doesn't always get to ride as long or as often as she would like to because of her schoolwork.
Trainer Patricia Griffith works with Peter Pan on his responsiveness, how well he pays attention to our signals.
He's a good boy. I mean, he understands his job. He just sometimes doesn't look to do it the first time you ask him. And I think most of that's from living in the backyard. If he was every day under thumb, he would be easy.
Peter Pan's tune-up at Heritage Farm seems to be working, but another rider at Heritage is also gearing up for the Mclay Regionals. Natalie is one of the top teenage riders in the country, but now she has a new challenge, her first year of college.
This September I started college, which has been really good, but I haven't really been able to practice as much as I need to. And I really, really want to do well at regionals, and I'm really hoping I can pull it together in time.
Don't rush. This is about the line here and then the distance. Yeah, Natalie won this regional last year. Right. And I think Natalie and Maggie stand a good chance to not only get in, but be very competitive. Know where he is. Know where he is.
But part of being competitive is putting in the hours and practicing every day. Taking each jump smoothly and perfectly means doing it over and over again until you get it right.
And I think that if I try to walk, I'd fall.
You're gonna get in, but barely. Because that whole round, you just kept you kept saving it. You kept saving it. First jump is too backward. You just went direct to every fence with no feel of the course. Okay, no good. Again, Natalie's a perfectionist. She really is competitive and she really wants to win and she works hard. I'd say her weakness or her downfall is that when it really matters, that she's often gotten a little bit cautious or a little bit careful. That was right. She's very responsible and mature, and I think that she's sometimes a little bit tentative. You basically crawled around that course, hoping not to make a mistake. You know, it's not competitive. Get in a canter, cruise around the course. They know you belong. Now, just put in a decent round. The judges know these kids. They see them at shows, they've judged them before. When you're at the national championships, there could be as many as 250 entries. Out of that 250, there probably are 15 kids that maybe could win that class. It's very, very rare. A complete unknown will jump up and win a national championship. Not saying it couldn't happen, but it's rare.
It's rare, all right, but Lindsay and LV, the long shots, are going to try to make it happen. In a sport where some teenagers own 6 or more horses, Lindsay has just one equitation horse, her best friend, LV. Most of the top riders have big financial resources behind them. Because horse shows are so expensive, Lindsay can't attend as many as the other girls. So she and LV don't get as many opportunities to compete.
Tomorrow, LV will make his little journey down to Camden, South Carolina for the Mclay Regionals, and I am flying down tomorrow night.
Lindsay and LV have never competed in a Mclay Regional qualifier before. So can they hold their own against the top riders in the region? If last weekend was any indicator, they just might pull it off.
Last Saturday morning, I competed in the Maryland Hunt Seat Medal Finals, and I won, which was really exciting. LV was absolutely perfect, and I rode really well, and it really is good for my confidence for this coming weekend.
Fluidness.
Because she's the underdog, Lindsay is constantly battling her confidence issues. Last week's big win certainly helped, but she still has a mountain in front of her.
Good, and posting and lengthen down the side. Knowing that LV has a long trip tomorrow, we're gonna fine-tune some things. The judges are gonna be looking for Lindsay's position, fluidness of her pace, consistency with the distances or the takeoff spot to the jumps. When you get to the regionals and a tough competition like that, the courses definitely get tougher. The course designer will set the fences purposely close to the rail on an odd angle, so the horse has to really be focused and listening to the rider where they're going. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure to handle. But that's what makes a good rider.
The Mclay Regional qualifiers are just a week away. Maggie and her mom have returned to Heritage Farm to pick up her horse, Peter Pan. They're on pins and needles to find out if the last-minute training paid off.
Peter Pan's going to be going up against a lot of seasoned veterans for the Mclay, so he really needed some schooling. Hey, Fatty. Boot camp, huh? Is it good? You working hard, huh? I think he looks tired. He seems a lot mellower, doesn't he? Are you mellower?
Maggie's gonna get on Peter. He's been here for 2 weeks now. I've been riding him a lot myself, and we're basically working on getting him a little fitter and a little stronger and trying to get him muscled up so that his build is just a little rounder. You know, his neck muscles, his back muscles, he was just a little bit weak. And Maggie's very busy at home, and I think oftentimes she doesn't get enough riding time in on him with the school schedule.
Trisha's been riding him and giving him the business, getting him in shape so that he's ready for regions. We just have to get him back to little Peter.
Now a little bit of lengthening down the side and get him back in time to collect him for the turn. She's gonna just practice this course as if she was showing. Very good. Very good. That's how...
At the Mclay level, equitation horses jump a course of at least 8 fences.
Think about how to do this. Whoa.
While the fences aren't that tall, no more than 3'6".
Think about this ending.
The trick is to make the ride look smooth and effortless.
Really good. She should be happy with that. Her horse was really good. She said he feels better. So, excellent. Blood, sweat, and tears right there. Make it and work, you know?
Yeah.
He's a good boy, though.
Peter looks wonderful. Much better. So he's going to stay another week. Really, he's making a big difference. We'll just give her a better chance.
Peter Pan looks much better, but things for Maggie are about to get much worse. Her mother has been having some strange pains, and when she goes to the doctor, it's not good news.
I just got back from the doctors. We have some decisions to make. I have to find Kevin, and it's going to be a rough few weeks here.
Maggie's mother has tumors in her uterus.
How'd you make out?
Not that great.
Not that great.
The doctors aren't sure if they're cancerous, so surgery is scheduled right in the middle of Maggie's hectic horse show season.
So when does he want to do the surgery?
He wants to do it October 9th, which is the first big indoor show. That's the beginning of our 6 weeks. And he said it's 4 to 6 weeks recovery, so I don't know how we're going to do it.
We could very easily have a situation where she doesn't go to some of these shows. I mean, because your health is far more important than a horse show.
Maggie's mom can still take her to the regional qualifier this weekend. But beyond that, the family will have some tough decisions to make. Meanwhile, the day before regionals is finally here. For all the riders, that means it's time to pack.
As you can see behind us, this is the chaos that we have before a show. Everyone's scrambling to get everything done just to get ready.
Prepping for a big horse show is no easy feat.
I am surprised something is not growing in here.
We pack it up and we are going from here.
I think we're ready.
Done everything we needed to prepare. If something happens stupid, that's life.
My official show shoes.
I think people would be very surprised, the average person, to learn how much work goes into preparing these horses for the competitions. It's like shaving. It's like a guy that gets up in the morning and shaves. It's just time for Rocket's shave. Let me do the test. Oh, so nice. Almost as nice as my husband.
Okay, now we are off.
While the horses head out in trailers, most of the riders drive to the showgrounds with their parents. For Maggie, that means 3 long hours in the car with her mom and her sister.
It's the night before regionals begins, and we just got into the town of Westbrook.
Molly, you're gonna have to slow down.
This is my sister's suitcase. She's like a hobo.
When you ride at this elite level, sharing a room with your family comes with the territory.
What the heck is that? You know, like those little, like when your face is dirty, like the little circle things that you pin it off with? Well, there's a dirty one right there. Shut up.
I'm very strict about bedtime. Lights are out, and that's it. It's not about you tonight, honey. It's about the Mclay regionals. This is what happens. She goes over the edge. She's all serious, right? And then she gets overtired and she turns into like a very silly person.
Take your shower, get out!
Serious all day, gets so silly she can't stand herself, and then she passes out. I'm ready to get to bed.
Oh, it's burning me!
We have 6 hours of sleep at this point, so bed. Molly.
Yeah, Molly, get in bed.
Maggie.
Maggie.
Quiet, lights out, no more talking.
Nighty night, don't let the bed bite. Literally.
It's day 1 at the Zone 1 Regionals in Connecticut. Heritage Farm riders Maggie and Natalie will compete here over the next 2 days. Only half of the riders from this region will make it through to the Mclay final.
Today is the warm-up day at the Zone 1 Regional. Basically, it's a little bit of a trial run. We're going to get the horses ready and sort of test the waters and make sure we feel ready. We'd like for this to go well, so you sort of feel like you're confident for tomorrow. We'll see how it goes.
Warm-up day gives the horses and riders a chance to practice jumping a course in front of the judges before they compete tomorrow. Because it's considered a warm-up, their scores don't count. That's good news, because Maggie and Peter Pan are going to need every minute of extra practice they can get.
Peter Pan's a good horse because he's a little bit of a stiff horse. He needs a lot of warm-up. You know, it takes him a while to kind of want to get in the right shape. It's important that she gets on him a little bit early and stretches him out, just being a little bit more supple.
The judging of equitation is largely subjective. If a rider makes no obvious mistakes, it all comes down to how well the judges think the rider has handled the horse.
I'm happy we took this horse home after the Hamptons. The horse is going better and looking confident, and I feel like she's got a real chance, and Maggie deserves a chance, so looks good.
Natalie is also riding in the warm-ups. Her horse, Chagall, is older and more experienced than Maggie's horse, which gives her an advantage.
Natalie's horse is a little looser. He's in naturally good shape, you know, he's really round. He's had a big career before we got him. I think he's probably 11 or 12 years old. And I believe Maggie's horse is 7 or 8. Yeah, this is a big difference in experience.
Natalie's horse, Chagall, is a seasoned pro. But can Natalie pull off her part of the partnership?
This is my last year, and it's pretty important to me to do well. Now that I'm at college, it's more difficult because I can only come like once or twice a week, whereas before I would ride Wednesday through Sunday all the time. So just coming to a show when I haven't really been practicing that much is a little difficult. It was pretty good. I think I was just like a little rusty in places.
But once again, Chagall's experience carried Natalie through. He jumped every jump perfectly.
Very happy with you. Fuss over him a little bit. He's a good boy.
It's the first night of regionals in South Carolina. Nico and Lindsay will compete here for a spot in the Mclay finals. Tomorrow will be intense, but tonight, it's time to party. Most of the kids on the show circuit know each other, but since farm girl Lindsay can't afford to go to every show, she's meeting some competitors for the first time, including Nico. Nico won this regional last year, but Lindsay didn't qualify to compete.
Yeah, I met Nico Ritter for the first time. Hi, this is Nicola.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
How's it going?
He's one of the only guys down here this weekend.
Yeah, I was third.
Like, Nico's definitely a strong competitor. I mean, he's such a great rider. He's got great horses.
Have you ever been in regionals before?
No, this is my first year. I'm usually not nervous, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm really, really nervous.
If you're nervous, you're gonna ride nervous. When in doubt, it's just another show.
Exactly, yeah. I have a feeling that a lot of the other competitors have been here before, and Nico said this is his 4th year. So he's definitely got an advantage in this.
I'm either doing 007 or Rocket C. 007's won Mclay finals already, so he's got some experience. Rocket I did all summer, but we're not really sure if he's going to be as solid as 007, so they'll both.
He has 2 horses he gets to pick to ride. You know, I only have my Peanut.
The next morning, warm-ups begin bright and early. Nico and his family wake up to a nasty shock.
This morning has been very frantic. Our groom decided last night he no longer wanted to be employed by us, so he quit and left in the middle of the night. So Nico and I did the stalls this morning and unwrapped the horses and got the horses ready. So now we're gonna go horse show, which is what we came here for.
The warm-up rounds are about to start, but Nico and his mom are still agonizing over which horse to use.
Today is all about figuring out which horse is gonna be 007 or Rocket.
Number 16 in the warm-up, Nico Ritter.
Nico will ride Rocket first, then 007, to see which one does better.
Looks good.
Overall, Rocket's warm-up was great. Next up, Rocket's rival, 007. Top riders like Nico have been going to horse shows for as long as they can remember. Everybody knows them, which can be good and bad.
We'll tell all the stories about when he was a little boy. He has come a long way from a short, little, fat, unorthodox little boy.
I just watched Nico on 00, and he looks really nice. Pretty solid, getting better and better. And we still have to make the big decision today which horse he's going to ride.
For long shots, Lindsay and LV, having a solid warm-up is critical.
I think she's nervous because it is her first time here. Anytime you're among this type of competition, you know, obviously your nerves are going to take over.
Lindsay's nerves are kicking in as she goes up against some of the stiffest competition she's ever faced.
That was a bit of a desperate move there. She won't let the horse canter.
She made mistakes that may not look like much, but at this level, they can mean the difference between going to the Mclay finals or staying home. Part of the problem is that LV is just too hyper and is resisting Lindsay's direction.
I'm going to go over here and trot because he's a little wild. He just is fighting with me, and we don't want him fighting with me.
Lindsay just needs to relax. She just needs to relax and let him go. So I think she will by tomorrow.
The Mclay Regional Qualifier in Connecticut is about to begin. This day will determine who goes on to the Mclay finals and who goes home.
The morning of Mclay Regionals, my mom was in a lot of pain, and she could barely get out of bed, which was really weird because usually she's the one pulling us out of bed.
Maggie's mom hopes to join the girls later after she gathers her strength.
Good to have Molly here. She can cover for me. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate it.
When I walked out the door without my mom, I was really scared because I knew that she obviously wasn't telling me how much pain she was really in.
But the show must go on. There are horses to ride and regionals to win.
You know, it had really felt like summer up until yesterday, and all of a sudden, you know, fall has sort of appeared, and it's really much colder. We're wearing jackets, and the horses have blankets on. And when the weather changes like that, you have to be a little bit careful that, you know, that you don't let the horses be too fresh. We're going to ride them now, and just sort of make sure that, you know, we have them quiet enough. So they're very obedient and not easily distracted. This is probably the least favorite day of the year for these kids and for the trainers and for the parents. You know, it is about putting it all together in the one class that they need it. They know that anytime you go to a regional, there is a chance that something could go wrong and you could possibly not make it. So it definitely has that one-shot feeling.
And that one shot comes down to the difficulty of the course. As the competition gets underway, the riders have definitely met their match. The course is full of tight turns, and the jumps come up fast, leaving little time to prepare. Now it's time for Natalie and Chagall to show what they're made of. But Natalie's dad's still in the parking lot.
Okay, so it'll be about 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be there in 10.
Okay, bye. My dad is very, very allergic to horses. So he comes to the shows when he can, and he sits in his car, and he waits until I call him, and then he'll run in and watch me, and then he has to go leave again. He has a hard time, but he tries.
You know, you're nervous, you know, for these kids. You know, they work hard. It's a lot of hours. You know, I know she's a good rider. You want it to happen in the moment. Then just calm, right? Just keep measuring it and stay calm. This is the regional cut. They're looking to get the top group out of here to go on to represent us in the national final. Basically looking for the rider that has the best position, that is able to execute this course in the best style, doing the right number of strides, not knocking any jumps down. It needs to look basically effortless. There are a lot of kids that can execute the course correctly. So then it's about presentation, you know, the look and the style of the horse. Good thing this thing is not monitoring my heartbeat. Because when it's going, my heart is like...
Natalie and Chagall had a very nice ride with no major problems. Maggie is up next, and by now, her mom is back on track, just in the nick of time.
I'm a tad nervous.
Maggie!
All set? Uh-oh, she's going in that fast with Andre.
Check your reins. Good luck.
I've been a bad girl, a rough night.
After all the work at Heritage Boot Camp, I was really hoping that Mclay Regionals would go smoothly. Early in the course, I had mistakes that they might not have looked like big mistakes, but I knew that they were.
Somebody call the doctor 'cause my brain's gone dead.
Maggie didn't do so well. So the big question is, will she and Peter Pan be knocked out?
That was kind of a hard course, huh? Tougher than it looked. Like when you first walked it, it like was, wow, they went easy on you, and then, whew.
The Mclay Regional Qualifier in Connecticut is over, and the results are in. As expected, Natalie and Chagall made it through with flying colors. They placed third overall.
She rode nicely. She had great results, great ribbons. The horse looked amazing. You know, everybody likes to win, but she rode well and ended up third, so we'll take it.
Maggie and Peter Pan didn't place in the top 10, but everyone's still hoping they make the cut to go on to the Mclay final in Syracuse.
Maggie, we don't know. They'll probably post the top 30 order. She's going to hang out here and kind of check that order. Hopefully she secured a spot as well and go from there.
The top 35 riders from this region will go through to the final. So Maggie and Peter Pan have to place in the top 35 to get a spot.
Good. You had a good day, huh? We'll take it. And I was a little surprised that you ended up moving down.
Yeah.
But I think the key for you, and I said this before, is that you have to make sure you keep allotting enough time for you to just focus a little bit on the riding in between the schools so that you feel like you're going to these events prepared. And this went really well.
Now Maggie joins the group with some great news.
I was 23rd.
So you're going, right? We're going. 40.
Both riders from Andre's barn made it through.
The judges don't have adequate appreciation of you ever, but that's just from my perspective.
Alrighty. Thanks for coming. Bye. Aren't you going to say goodbye at least?
Bye.
Maggie and Natalie can relax. They've qualified for the Mclay final. But for Nico and Lindsay, things are just getting started.
It's the same as any horse show. I think a little more intense this morning because of what's at stake. The main thing is to just try to keep Lindsay and the horse relaxed so they can perform well. I go back and forth what kind of talks to have with her. Should I be tough or just more nurturing? I'm on the tough side this morning because now she's got to come through. She's got to handle the pressure and just deliver.
The morning of Zone 3 regionals in South Carolina, riders get their first glimpse of the competition course. Lindsay and Kim walk it and come up with a plan. While they get to see it, the horses will go in cold, so they better be prepared.
Forward, backward. I mean, it's your horse has got to be right there with you every stride. It's got to be listening to you for sure. All right, let's walk this line again over here.
So a lot of turns, a lot of rollbacks. It should be fine as long as I just keep my pace and just keep carrying around. Mom and Dad have arrived, yay.
I was awake at 12:47, 2:13, I think 3:47, 4:30, and then 5, and I was just laying there waiting for the wake-up call.
Oh, Sherry, do not do that. We're getting ready to put his bridle on. My mom just did her little traditional speech that she gives me before I get on, because she's usually sent to the stands or the bleachers or a hill or wherever.
What are you feeling right now, hon?
What am I feeling? I'm very nervous and queasy. I just want her to do well. She's in some really, really steep competition down here, which she has been in before, and we just want her to smile when she comes out. I will probably start crying.
Yeah, we know you're going to cry.
Nico and his mom are off to a late start. They're still walking the course, and with just 15 minutes to go, they're still deciding between Rocket and 007.
My mom and I walked the course to find out the striding, so you know where to put your horse and about approximately how the course is going to go.
But for Nico, this course is fraught with danger. yellow flowers that Nico fears will spook Rocket.
It's a nice course for you, and there's a lot of yellow flowers. So I'm glad we jumped all those yellow flowers.
Happy, happy, joy, joy.
Despite those psycho yellow flowers, Nico has decided to ride Rocket.
We don't need to win this. We just need to be solid so we can advance to the next round. And that's why we chose to use this horse.
Rocket seems fine. We'll see when it goes in the ring. It's always a different story when they're actually in the ring, so you never know.
At the South Carolina Regionals, 31 riders compete for 16 spots. Nico and Rocket are up next.
Let's go. Right now, Catalina and I are heading to the ring. It looks like she wants to keep track of the competition today with her little pen and paper. Today is extra special because I am the stand-in groom / trainer / mother.
You groom for me all the time.
After training hard and showing all season, it all comes down to this.
We welcome number 17, Nico Ritter.
It's a little nerve-wracking to have won last year and to be considered one of the contenders. You just want to be solid. You know, anything can happen. Anything can go wrong.
I'll take you away. Hey, high school boy, you live a life of no regrets.
At a qualifying competition, the riders definitely feel the pressure. And for the trainers and parents on the sidelines, it's just as tough. All they can do is watch and hope. For Nico and his mom, they hope they chose the right horse.
It may not have won, but it's not over yet. But as of now, I think I'm through.
He got his shot, and he did well.
And what does Rocket think?
I think if Rocket could tell you how he thought he did, he'd tell you he's the best and he was perfect.
It's like, wasn't that good? Wasn't that good? Don't you want to fawn over me? Give me another bath? Do something to me, you know?
Oh, poor guy, I know.
Take the 4, then the 2.
And now the time has come for Lindsay and LV. Years of work are put to the test in a single ride.
Linz, good luck, honey. Have fun. Remember.
At this time, we welcome entry number 63, the number assigned to Lindsay Smith.
Lindsay's habit is that she'll come out of the turn, and instead of continue going forward, she'll be like, okay, I don't see the jump, I don't see the distance, and she'll start slowing the horse down rather than continuing her pace and finding her distance from that pace.
But instead of letting her nerves get the best of her, Lindsay decides this ride, she's going to have fun.
I just kind of sank down and was like, just let go. Like, I've never actually been in the middle of a course and all of a sudden been like, this is fun.
First jump a little deeper than what you wanted, and I thought he jumped so high and you were a little late getting it, but you made it work out well.
Lindsay may not have had a perfect round, but she might have done something even better. She relaxed. So what will the judges think? The results for the South Carolina Regional Qualifier are in.
Number 17, Nico Ritter.
Nico and Rocket definitely made the cut. The decision to use their horse paid off.
This is it. That's all we could hope for. You know, we're gonna be in Syracuse, so the road to the Mclay will go on.
And now a great big round of applause for the winner of the 2000.
While the results are in for the top 10, the rest of the riders wait for the final standings. For Lindsay and LV, things are still uncertain.
You know, she rode the best today that she had ridden all weekend, but still had that one small glitch, which I feel was the first jump. So let's just hope that maybe she can just sneak in. Even if it's at the bottom, it doesn't matter. At least she's in.
Out of the 31 who competed, only 16 will get through to the Mclay finals in Syracuse.
Okay, so right now I am going to go check the office and see if I made it or not. If I do, I do, and if I don't, I don't. You know, I'll get them next time.
Oh, yes. What number were you? 66? Take more. They got the phones all the way through.
I was 11. I ended up, I almost got a ribbon. Come on.
I was 20.
Lindsay and LV took 20th. They missed the cut by 4 places.
We're 20th? It's okay. Your horse was great, you were great.
I know you did right, but you have to remember how political it is.
So many emotions, and these kids carry a lot of stuff on them, with not just this. You know, she rode great. She should be proud of herself. And, of course, it's disappointing. Yeah, and she's feeling like her life is over, but she's got a lot ahead of her.
Next time on Horsepower, Frank loses his cool with Chelsea.
You know what I call that? Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
Meanwhile, at the big USET competition, Maggie, Natalie, and Maria must swap horses in the final round. And Lindsay finds out she has one last chance to make it to the Mclay after all.